Hi everybody, welcome back. It's Casey here. And today we're going to talk about reflection. Great song by Christina Aguilera and Mulan. I suggest you go listen to it. It has a good message. But reflecting is something that separates the optimally functioning, vital human beings of life from the dull and the boring. Reflection is what allows us to make these deep changes within our brain, like a footprint in the sand. A shallow footprint in the sand or a deep set footprint in the sand? Which one is going to withstand the ebbs and the flows of the tide, aka the distractions and external stimuli that we receive every single day in life? Reflecting is something that is necessary and marinating for our soul. When we marinate our reflections, it allows it to sink into every single one of our cells and bring it from just a fleeting experience and thought to a deep connection to ourselves and a change that will provide us with information, which will provide us with an ability to do something different maybe in our lives. And when we are in a situation and then we go right back into our day and don't even give it time to think about. So for example, if you did like a really great workout and all these awesome ideas came to you, and then shoop, as soon as your workout is done, shower, change, eat, back to work you go. That was just an absolute waste of energy for your creative process because you didn't give it time to simmer. You didn't get it time to integrate, to reevaluate everything that just happened so that each of your cells can now remember. So now your body remembers it. And then you can use that as productivity to move forward later in life or later in the day. If you just go through a situation and pop back into this autopilot, and it was a really strong, impactful, emotional event, and you're like, it's fine, I'll be fine, I'll deal with it. It sinks into every single one of your cells. There are 5 sausage dogs here, and they are barking at flies, I think. That emotional experience is going to sink heavy and hold into each of your bodily cells here. And it's always going to have like a little flicker of light. It's like when your computer has too many tabs open and there's something always running down here, and you're just like, shh, 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 I'm not looking at you right now. Well, guess what? It's going to pop up and surprise you one day, and it might come out as an illness, a disease. It might come out as inflammation somewhere. And this is because we didn't give it the attention that it needed to complete the cycle of this complete experience. And so this is why reflecting is so incredibly important. And so when you are in a situation, or if you're meditating, or if you're cooking, or you just went about your day, take a couple of minutes to sit and reflect on it. Because when we are in a peaceful, safe place, we're not worried about any external threats. Our survival is not important right now in the sense of we need to be alert and ready to run away. Our body is relaxed. We can integrate all of that new neural stimulus that we just had, these new neural connections, synaptogenesis, creating new synapses, new pathways, they're connecting. Then they can get integrated into our hippocampus and our neocortex, which is our memory, so that we can use it for a later time. Yes, babies are synaptogenic geniuses. They remember everything, and it gets like imprinted like a super deep footprint every single time. That's why our childhood is so incredibly important, and everything that happens in our childhood comes back later in life, and we're basically just a bunch of 5-year-olds running around. Because if we don't change those pathways, they stay exactly the same. Doesn't mean us adults are adaptodeficient, synaptogenic deficient. Don't look it up in the dictionary, you won't find it. We still can change. We can make a change. We are very neuroplastic beings, and that's something miraculous that allows us to grow and change all the time. We need something to feed our dopamine system, right? And so when we become bored with things, we find distractions because we're looking for something to feed that dopamine system. So then we go to video games, social media, drugs, alcohol, sex, food, shopping. Any distraction that you can possibly think of falls under this category of you're looking for something that you're not getting in your daily life. You actually are, you're just not taking time to appreciate it. And the more we rely on these external circumstances for something, the less we are going to be enthused by these natural occurrences that happen every day. Like, looking at the sunset, for example, and then reflecting on it. You might not want to go sit on Instagram and scroll for another hour because you're like, I'm good. Like, I'm satisfied. So reflecting, again, is super duper important to do for yourself. It's like those footprints in the sand. Do you want to make a shallow footprint with no reflection? The wind blows and that footprint's going to disappear. Or do you want a super deep neural footprint so that actually makes a change in your life and changes those neural connections and those different pathways that maybe have been bringing you down a path that wasn't so great? You can erase those pathways and create new ones. Reflection is what's going to allow those new connections to have such an impactful meaning in your life. So don't fear. Your journey will continue, one neural footprint at a time. Just make them nice and deep and intentional. And so when things come back your way every single day, your footprint is still nice and strong and steady.